Hello, everyone. Welcome. I decided to just go ahead and start a little bit early since Jay was wrapping up. So, welcome. Let's see what we've got. Cordelia, welcome, Cordelia. And Jana. Cordelia says she's making a coffee run to the kitchen. Coffee and banana pudding. That sounds great. Harley Lady, hello, welcome. Glad you could join us. Now, I have got a ton of materials tonight, so I'm going to really jump right in and kind of get started. So I'm glad that you guys are here. We have got the Hero Arts Vintage Vinyl Collection. I'll scoot up here a little bit. And this collection is actually, it's an extension to a collection that they had in October of last year that was, it was called Cool Yule, I believe is what it was called. And so this is an extension to that. And we are going to just look at the products and we've got a lot of stuff. I'm not sure what all we'll get to work with, but hopefully we'll get a lot done. So what we've got here first off the bat, this is called Drop the Needle, and it's got 6 cutting dies, and it has a great big record. It has the arm with the needle, hence Drop the Needle. You've got a little decorative element that'll go on top of the needle, the push button where you would turn the record player on, and then you've got like the label is what is included in this. And I've got some pieces die cut out. I did try to prep a little bit in advance, and I'm probably going to fall asleep halfway out. It's 2 a.m. I totally get it. Well, hang in there and get some sleep if you need it for sure, because I don't think I could do it. Banana pudding. That sounds good. Yeah, it does. So that's that die set. And then this actually has a stencil that goes along with it. I don't think we're going to use the stencil tonight. It is a 2-layered stencil, and it basically, you can add color to the center, and then it'll add like a variation of color to your record if you want to do that. Like I said, I think I'm going to forego that, but I wanted to show it that these two pair nicely together. I will mention that I have linked all of the description or all of the materials in the description box below so you can check that out. And that's what usually happens for sure. Anyway, and then in addition to that, there is the record collection. And this is fun. There's 3 cutting dies, and it basically is the record, the center of the record, and then you've got the sleeve to the record. And I have got that die cut out. And we're going to work with it as well. So I'm just going to show you all these bits and pieces. Now, there are several stamp sets that coordinate with this. The vintage vinyl stamp set. And this is super fun. This you can add, to your record. This is a happy birthday to you. Congrats on another trip around the turntable, which is super fun. Happy birthday. Thank you. Congrats. Sing, dance, and be married. You're an absolute legend. Hope your day is off the charts. Very fun. Like it's your birthday and all that jazz. Put your records on and live happily ever after. Vintage, old school, but still cool. Love it. Super fun. There's a second stamp and cut set that's called Solid Gold stamp set, and it's got Happy Birthday, Going to the Chapel, Solid Gold, Hope Your Day is Solid Gold, You Rock, um, Hope Your Birthday hits all the high notes, Solid Gold of Love, I don't know, Going to the Chapel of Love. It's got Now Playing Good Vibes, Zero Skips, all your favorite hits. Congratulations. For the Record, To a Real Playa. And then we've got side A, Ice Cream, Cake, and Candles. Side B, All Groove, great tracks, max volume. Very, very fun. And then those are the stamp sets that are part of the new release. Now, I think I've kind of got it segmented out to what was the Cool Yule. Now, there is this Wishing You stamp set, and it's got a cute little Santa, and you've got Holly Jolly Christmas, A Merry Little Christmas, and Happy Holidays, a banner wishing you a wonderful Christmas and Cool Yule. And these will work with the records as well, these circular ones. So you can have birthday, you can have Christmas, whatever. I bet you could use the center and cut out ephemera or printable pattern paper of your choice. You certainly probably could. So we've got that. And then there's another fun set that is called Filling Festive. And we've got the record player. We've got the elongated record that will go on here. You've got an extra record that you could put in the sleeve. You've got Jingle All the Way, Have a Cool Yule, Rockin' Christmas Season, Little Saint Nick. some music notes, and then the other pieces to the record player, which if I'm going to use, I'll need to die cut those or stamp those out. I haven't stamped them out. I did stamp out the record player and the sleeve. So we'll see where we get with that. I'm not sure how far we're going to go. And then there is the Swinging Christmas set. And this one is the one that has side A, trim the tree, build the snowman, eat, drink, and be merry. So you can make a Christmas set. Welcome back, Cordelia. I'm running through all of this vintage vinyl stuff and everything. We've got Have a Swinging Christmas, 'Tis the Season for Dancing, this Christmas Keep Calm. And I thought this would be cute, 'Tis the Season. It kind of goes along very nicely with this Wishing You set, because you've got the dancing sentiment and you've got the dancing couple there. And then this is a fantastic sentiment. It's huge. It says Have a Cool Yule. And this is part of the release from October, but these pair nicely together. I've got this die cut out and prepared and ready to go, and we are going to be using that. So I should say hi to Teresa. I'm making sure I'm not missing anyone. And okay, anyway, so we've got that. And then we've got the Twinkle Toes stencil. This is a 3-layer stencil that is a 6x6 stencil. And I think we're going to jump right in and start out with this. I've got panels that I want to get stenciled, and I thought this would be the first place to start. So that's what we're going to do. Sorry about the glare. I don't know what's going on with my setup, but something isn't quite right. But we'll just have to run with it. So I'm going to bring in my sticky mat. It is clean. I just washed it, but it does look a little worse for the wear. And I've got some lotion on my hands, and it's making my mat all messy. So we'll just bring this in and lay it down. And I'm going to do a couple of different inkings if I can remember everything that I'm doing. I think, okay, so I just want to, actually I have a panel cut. Yeah, here we go. We're going to use this. We're going to use this, and we're going to use this. I'm getting all my pieces that I want to stencil. We're going to do some stenciling on 3 different panels, so I hope you'll bear with me, and we'll try to get it going. It's going to be pretty simple because we're going to keep the same color scheme for all of our panels, and everything's going to coordinate. Let's see. Jace, oh, okay, you'd already read that. Cordelia just saying hi to Jana, Jay, and Ann, and to Teresa. My scrapbook loft, Judy. Hey, Judy, welcome. And Monique, welcome. Nice to see you here tonight as well. Haven't been live. I've been kind of taking a little break. I've been had a vacation and had a lot of things going on. Jay kind of alluded to it in his live just before me, thinking he was surprised that I was going live because I have a very busy schedule. Well, this past week I was working on VBS at the church, and so I was quite busy, but I did get everything wrapped up. VBS started tonight. I went in and helped them with registration, but once I got that done, I slipped out and then came home so that I could be there for Jay's live and get ready for mine. So yeah, and I decided to just, kind of get back in the groove. I am trying to get this lined up how I want it. There we go. And I'm probably going to bring in some tape because I don't have much showing on the edge there to stick to my sticky mat. And I'm thinking, I'm going to cut it down to an A2 size panel, but I might have a nice little strip of it that I could use for something else. So just checking the chat. Anyway, so I'm going to hop right in and get going. Jay, I really like the cards that Jay made in his live earlier. I love the last one that was really clean and simple with the Santa. Very nice. So I hope to be working with that kit again soon. Now, tomorrow night, Daria and I are going to go live, and we're going to work with Yana's cats. I've already got that scheduled, so if anybody's around tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Oh, I just thought about registration. I might be pinched for time on that now that I think about it. Anyway, I'm going to get this laid down on here. Hopefully. That's probably more than I need. So what I'm going to bring in, I recently got some new inks from for my Distressed Oxide collection, and I'm going to use Twisted Citron and Worn Lipstick. I cannot talk tonight. And the reason why I'm going to do that is I've already done some die cutting and some stamping and coloring, and I've got some things, and we're just going to kind of go with that color scheme And I think these two colors will match with what I've done as far as my die cutting and my stamping. And I'm hoping that everything will kind of be matchy-matchy is what I am going for. So we've got, just kind of shows our stencils on the back and what we've got going on. So I think I'm going to start the first one out with my pink. And I have cleaned my blending brushes ahead of time because I knew I had other colors on there. This is new. So I expect that I'd have a real, should be pretty juicy because it's a new stamp set. Anyway, so we'll just get going on this. Let's see, let's just check the chat real quick and see if I'm missing anything. All right, I'm just going to get going on this because it'll take me a minute to get all these things stenciled up that I want to get stenciled. And I think it's going to be pretty. I really liked, the pattern on there. I thought that would be super fun. And this would have been part of the release in October. And then the vintage vinyl stuff would be the new stuff that was just released this month. I'm a little behind in working with this product just because I had a lot of things going on and a lot of different products to work with. And so I'm glad to finally be getting around to it. There's so much product. I thought it might be easier to work with it on a live than pre-recorded just because, do all the making and then the editing and then the voiceover and everything. And I thought it might just be easier to just kind of talk through it on a live and just work with it that way. So my sister I was talking with her about it. I said, I think the live will be easier because it's just so much product. I don't think we'll get to all of it, but I wanted to show all of it and kind of showcase as much as I can on my live. So I am hoping to kind of get done at a reasonable time because I'm really thinking about ice cream. I want to get some ice cream before the ice cream shop closes. So we're just going to pull this first panel off. I'm going to save these little pieces of washi tape so we can use them. And we've got that. And I think it looks pretty. I don't think it's perfect. It looks like I had a little bit of movement there, and I'm going to try and line this up. I do have a little mark on my sticky mat where I blended that is going to help me a little bit to get it lined up. I can see the squares there. And I keep standing up because I'm on a stool and I'm trying to reach over it. So probably my little circle that I've got of me down there in the corner is a little off since I'm standing up, but I'm going to get another piece. Here we go. And we'll get that laid down on there. Now we're going to bring in our twisted citron. Citron. I cannot say that word for some reason. I was able to say it before I went live, and now I can't talk. So I think that's how it goes. So we're just going to add this. And it actually kind of goes with the color scheme of that kit that Jay was working with. We've got kind of the pinky and the green. So we'll just get this laid down. And then we'll bring in our third. And for our third layer, we're going to bring the worn lipstick back in. I got several different distress oxides the other day when I put in my order. I pretty much use distress oxides all the time. That's kind of my go-to because that was what I started collecting when I started doing my videos and stuff. And I thought, I just, to kind of keep my costs down, I just kind of stuck with that, and that was what I collected. But it's been quite a while since I bought any, and so I bought several recently, and I've had a nice little addition to my distressed oxide, so it's nice to have some extras. So am I missing anything in the chat? I think, let's see. Oh, hi, everybody just saying hello to everyone. Hi, Robin, welcome. Jay says, I need someone to come and die cut out all my things. I needed to scroll down. You love the Christmas record idea? Very nice. So they had a good little group of kids at the VBS. I did the registration table, so they had a good little group come in. And, each night as the week goes on, they'll kind of, more will trickle in and stuff once they find out their friends are going and stuff. So, and my grandsons were there, and they seemed to be enjoying themselves. They're pretty young for it, but they actually had one of my grandsons in the youngest class, and then put the next one up just so they would be apart, because they do better when they're apart. They're 17 months apart, and they just what one doesn't think of, the other one does. So it's kind of nice to have them. And they do fine when they're separated. So that worked out well. Anyway, so I think we've got enough green laid down on there. So our decor this year was a little different. I did a video last year because I just loved it. It was an under the water. It was like a sea creature type thing. And this year was more of green pastures and shepherds and sheep and that. And so it was a little bit more challenging for me as far as, what I wanted to use for the decoration. So I struggled a little bit, but we got there. I didn't get any pictures though. I need to get this lined up. I think I probably, there we go. Now this is like the little, I don't know, it's like a flourish or a little star that's in the center of all of these. And I'm just going to try and go a little bit heavier handed with my worn lipstick, just to kind of keep the same color scheme is what I'm going to try to do. So Jay says our church has a program where they teach kids to garden in the garden and we donate to the food pantry. That is awesome. I'm going to pop that up there. Very cool. Very cool. So my sister, she's actually teaching one of the classes. So I usually do just kind of do the decorating and they didn't have anybody for the registration table. So I wouldn't be there during the week, but I thought I should offer to help since they didn't have anybody to work the registration. They needed assistance. So anyway, so I'm going to get this lined up on here. So it's been a busy couple of weeks. All right, I'm just going to try and go a little heavy-handed with this and bring this color back in. And hopefully this will work out. Hopefully it'll lay all right on top of the green. Distress oxides will generally layer on top of each other. So it should be, hopefully it'll work out all right. We'll see. Let me see. Okay, new comments. Just everybody. Hey, Barb, welcome. You watch recordings the first time catching me live. Well, Barb, I'm glad you could catch me live. I've been kind of on a little bit of a hiatus with my lives just recently because of vacation and different stuff. And tonight I decided I needed to get back into my Sunday night lives and try to get back in the groove. We did start up our Monday night lives, Daria and I, last week. And tomorrow night we're going to, hopefully, if I can work out the situation with the, I may have to figure that out. We may have to bump that up or something. The registration with a VBS. Hopefully we can go live tomorrow night. But we're going to work with Yana's cats was the plan. But anyway, but yeah, typically I will go live at 8 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time on Sunday nights and then 6 p.m. on Monday nights Eastern Standard Time. And that's what I typically do. I actually prefer the pre-recorded videos, but lives are fun too. So there we go. The centerpiece is a little bit kind of muted, but I think it's really pretty. I think it's an interesting pattern. So we've got that. Now, bear with me for just a minute here. We're going to stencil up, and it doesn't matter on this because we only need the front of it. And I just got some ink on there, but it's not going to matter because that's going to be tucked under. This is the sleeve to the, I'm just going to line it up with what I had there. This is the sleeve to the record, and I'm going to go ahead and add something to it. Let's go ahead and do the full pattern. I for a minute was thinking I would just do this one, but I'm going to do the full pattern. So I'm going to get this lined up on here just like I had it. I've got like a mark on my sticky mat where I can see, and if I come down here, it's not going to matter because it's going to be folded under, so it'll be just fine. We're just going to add the same pattern and get this inked up similarly to the others. I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on there. Okay. And I think it'll just make a fun little sleeve to our record. I had die cut this out in a different color. I first started thinking I was going to do Christmas colors, and I had die cut stuff out in red and green. And as I thought about it throughout the day, I decided it didn't resonate with me, and so I decided to kind of make a switch and go with the pink and the green. And so I thought it'd be just kind of a fun color choice, be a little bit different. I think Pat's coming in. He was at our neighbors down the road, but I think I just heard him come in. But he knows to be quiet when he comes in, so anyway. All right, we'll just pull that off. We're gonna go kind of quick. Bear with me. Check the chat. Hi, Jamie. Welcome. Jamie says she's watching and crafting. Jamie owns the Not Too Shabby shop, so if you guys see my videos and stuff with her product, that's who Jamie is, and she's watching and crafting. And we'll get this laid down on here, and I'm just going to bring my green back in, and we're going to do it. And we'll just keep going. Hopefully it'll turn out all right. Hopefully I've got it even on that panel. I don't know. It could be a little bit crooked, but it'll be whatever it'll be. It's kind of how lives go. It's a handmade card. And I don't know how, what this is going to turn out, because this is a sleeve. I don't know if I'll need a 5x7, or we just make the front of this the card, and we add a panel to the back and just put our sentiment on the back. I don't know. I don't have a plan for this. I'm just trying to work with a little bit of all of this product and kind of give you a feel for it. I need to hold that down better because it is moving. I think that's where I'm getting my lines off a little bit. Yeah, it is a little bit crooked, I think. All right, there's that. And then we'll add our last layer, and then we just have a circle that we're going to add a little design to. So, oh, that looks pretty. It's interesting. All right. And then for this, I'm tempted to bring in a darker color for this because I didn't get much variation with that. It looks okay, I think, but I think it would look nice with a darker color. So let me grab a different blending brush and I'll bring in a darker color for that. We'll just see what happens with this. I've got to dig for my ink. Do I pull them all out? I'm looking. I think I'm going to go with, I don't know. That might be too, I don't think I like that. I'm undecided. I need to get a brush that I can use the red with. That's what I need. And I don't have a good red brush because I don't use it a lot. So I'm going to use this little one. I've just got a tiny one here for the red. And we'll just come in with it and see if it gives us a little more distinct star on here since it is a little bit darker. And we'll just see what this looks like. And I've got that pink ink on there because I didn't clean it off, but I think it'll be all right. So I'll just try and get this laid down on there. This small blending brush actually works pretty well for this little design here. I've got the fan running in the other room, kind of blowing some air into here. So hopefully it's not too loud. And we have had, like Jay was talking, we have had the smoke from the Canadian fires in our area as well. In fact, we're under a advisory, and they had planned on doing the games outside at the church, but because of that, they're actually doing. We have what's called the Family Life Center. We've got a great big, I don't know, like a gym building, and so they're going to be in there doing it. So that turned out nice. You can tell a lot better. Probably should have done that on the first one. So this doesn't matter because it's going to fold under. There is a score line there, and we'll fold this under. I'm going to lay this aside so it can dry. And then I've just got one more thing that I want to add, and I need to be careful because I got ink on my hands. So let me get a rag and find my alcohol. And I'm just going to kind of clean my fingers off a little bit, try and get some of that off of there. All right. And then for this, I'm going to go ahead and clean this off too because I've got that red on there. see if we can get it cleaned off. I don't know. We could have a real mess. I'm kind of a messy crafter anyway. So I am standing up over this, trying to get it cleaned off. Ooh, it's a mess. I just want to get a little bit of that off of there. So I think I'm just going to use this as the pattern on my record. I don't know. Now this is very messy. I'm gonna use my alcohol off to the side here and clean this off really good because I don't want to mess up my little record center. Ooh, excuse me. That alcohol got me kind of going there. Excuse me. I don't have it. I should have muted myself. So for this, I'm just going to lay this down on here, and we're just going to bring some pink in, and we're going to lay it down on here and add just a little decorative touch to the center of our record. And I feel like it's taking forever to get anything done here. Let's see, we're almost 25 minutes in. I don't have a card made. Okay. There we go. I think that is cute. All right, let's get these stencils laid aside and out of the way. And I'll bring in some things that we're going to work with. Okay, I have a little list here. Okay. Get this out of the way. Whoops. That sticky mat is very sticky. It's pulling my mat right off the desk. Get that cleaned up and out of the way. All right. So this was the red one that I actually created, and I was thinking I was going to go in a Christmas theme, but then I decided that I would kind of do non-traditional theme for it. So that's what we're doing. So let's just start off. I've got a 5x7 card base. Actually, I need to think through that because I've got a lot of bits and pieces here. Let's just kind of walk through what we've got. I've got the little gal and the Santa stamped and the Happy Holidays. I've got a gold record so that we could do something fun with that maybe. I've probably got more than I need. I've got our Have a Cool Yule, which I think this is a fantastic set. Look like I got a little crooked on that. And then we've got the record with the turntable with the needle. I think this one's called Drop the Needle is what it's called. And we've got that. And then I've got another one, another record for our sleeve that we're going to use. So we'll just see where we're going to go with this. I feel like this is a little bit big for an A2 size card base. Let me look and see if we can make it fit. It would be, no, it will work. So maybe we can get away with that. I don't know. Can we get away with that on our Cool Yule? I think we probably could. All right, let's go ahead and shoot for that and see what we can come up with. So we'll need to cut this panel down so that we can use it for our backdrop. So I'm going to cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 for our A2 size card base. Let me go check out in the comments. A pretty cool color combination. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. I just kind of had some cardstock, and it just was an idea that I had to come together. So I am going to go, we're going to cover this whole, I like this side better, this whole card base with this. I guess we're just going to have a tiny little strip that we could use maybe for something else, and then we've got 5 1/2. Looks like that's where we're at. So that's going to be pretty good. And this out of the way. And then we've got our card base. Let's see if it's going to line up pretty well. That looks pretty good. All right. So we'll get it lined up. I am on a stool and I'm trying to get comfortable here. So I stuck my pin in there so I wouldn't fight my glue when I got ready to start gluing. We're just going to get our stenciled panel laid down on here. and we'll get it lined up. And I think it's fun. Isn't that fun? I don't do a lot of stenciling, and when I do, I love it. So I don't know why I don't do more of it than what I do, but for some reason I don't. So for this one, I just want to get all of my pieces in order here. You can lay this down. This came out of the center of it, and then you can bring this in and put it down on here, and it will have to be cut just the way that this one is set up to hang off the edge of the card base, and you just get it laid down on there and then just trim that off. So before we do that though, I think I want to stamp some stuff on there. Let's go ahead and get this laid down, and then we'll stamp something on our record label so that we'll have something fun. And we've got lots of options. It's probably going to be hard to decide what to do, but we'll get something laid down on there. And we may not get much made tonight just because of all of the parts that we have. So this is designed to just go right up to your edge and then up to the top. You know, they've got it cut off and laid down like that. And we're not going to see as much of that beautiful pattern paper as we'd want. As we'll see, that could be interesting, but no, I don't think I want to do that. And then we'll get this laid down in here. I think, am I missing a piece? Let me get my die set out here. There are some extra pieces. I don't think so. It doesn't have like an element for that center there. So I might want to just bring something in and put underneath there. We could put this, but this I actually die cut out for the other one, but it's still going to show through. So I might want to just put something underneath that to cover that up. I think I might just use a piece of white and have that be white behind there. So let me just find a little piece of white. We'll just put it underneath there. This is a piece that I was stamping stuff and I was not having good success with. And so I just threw it aside. So I'm just going to put this underneath here just so we don't see our stenciled panel through there. And I put glue on the whole thing. I don't need all that. And then we'll have this. I kind of like that. And then we'll lay this down. Now I haven't had much time to prep and think about what I wanted to do with this because I just been so busy. But so this is basically our record on there. And then we have these two pieces, and we've got Have a Cool Yule. And I'm going to need to bring in my, see if I can do this. I don't know. I don't want to mess it up, but we're going to grab our stamp set. And I want to use the one that had the Christmas options is what I wanted to use on this one. So I'm just kind of looking through. I think, I don't know how well, yeah, that, I don't know. Let's take a look at it and see if how it would work. I don't know if it would work very well or not. I'm sure they show it that way, but if not, we can go with one of the curved ones. And sorry about the noisy packaging. Oh, I guess I did rip that open. Good. I ripped the top off so that I could slide it in and out. And we're still going to have noise. I don't know. I was kind of wanting this to fit on there. And I think it will. I'm not sure how my magnet's going to work. And this basically says side A and side B, and you stamp it on there. So I'm going to go a little bit more this way. I think that looks kind of straight. I'm kind of eyeballing it. And then we'll pick it up. And then what we're going to do is put it all the way in the corner and all the way to the top. I know it's going to probably come back up. We're just going to give it a shot. Okay, so for this, I'm going to use my VersaFine Clear ink, and hopefully we'll get a decent inking with it. And this is the first time I've used it. Probably should condition the stamp, but generally my conditioning is just using it over and over again. So I'm going to give it a press. My magnet, I'm hoping, is not in the way. I'm just very lightly pressing this. Not bad. Make sure. Hopefully it will, I've pressed it into the corner, so hopefully it'll stay lined up. And maybe the second one will be enough to get this on there. I think that's okay. We've got side A, trim the tree, side B, eat, drink, and be merry, build a snowman, sleigh all day. We have that. And then, let's see, can we get this one positioned in there? So I'm getting the corner here and the top there is what I'm trying to do. And then we'll clean this up. And you guys can see this is a bit detailed, all of this going on here. So how are we doing? We've got a pretty good crowd. Just trying to catch up and see if I'm missing anything with the chat. Hopefully everything's going well. And then I think we'll do Cool Yule vibes on this. And we'll just get it laid down on here. Making sure that I'm pushed all the way over and all the way up. And then we'll pick that up. And hopefully that'll stay. And let's add this Cool Yule vibes. And I don't know if we're going to have room for all this stuff because I've got that fantastic sentiment, but we might have to put it on the inside. Oh, that looks really nice. I'm going to leave that be because I could easily mess that up. So, all right. So we got that. We're at least going to get one card made. We might get two. And so what we need to do is position these in here like this. And so let's do that. Everybody's gotten pretty quiet. Hopefully I haven't put everybody to sleep. I have people tell me at times that my voice is relaxing and that they can easily fall asleep to my to my voice. So anyway, I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't mind. I have some YouTubers that I watch when I'm trying to get to sleep, and I know that they relax me and then I go to sleep. So we're going to get this position down there. I think it's going to look really cute. Jay says, nah, I'm here. I'm just watching you work. It's a nice color combination. Thanks, Barb. I keep having a blink. I think I must not have put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm going to take a minute here. Get that laid down on there. I like it. And then we're going to have to cut that side off. But hang on. Okay, I turned that phone on Do Not Disturb because sometimes if I get a phone call, it will kick me out of here. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it over, snip this off, being very careful not to get into my card base because that's the side of my card base that is the closure. So there we go. Isn't that cool? And then I had in my mind that we would add this. And I think we can. It just covers up the side B. What do you think about that? Is that okay to cover up the side B? Jamie, watching and listening, getting a card done. Yay, awesome. I think this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to lay that right on there like that. And I don't mind that it is covering up side B. I think it's okay. And I don't know if I got this glued down really well, if I could move it. I'm going to get my little, because I've got this lined up wrong. I don't know if it'll let me move it or not. It might be the whole kit and caboodle was wrong. I guess I wasn't paying attention when I was doing it. I don't think it's not too bad. I mean, it is off. This is what I'm referring to here. Oh, there we go. This is a little surgery, but I think I might be able to pull it off. I thought I was being, planning ahead by getting this glued up and laid down, and I did it and laid it aside and didn't pay attention to it, and I didn't line this part up right. Okay, we have had success. We have a little bit we're going to have to pull off here, but I think we can get away with it. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to pull this off and then try and better realign it. Yeah, I can get that. Let me get this bit off of here. This is live crafting. I could make another one. There we go. No, we don't need to make another one. There we go. All right. So I'm going to just put a little glue on here and we're going to get this lined up better. And it's going to look a lot better. There we go. And then I'll just bring in my little glue eraser and do a little erasing. Much, much better. That's a lot better now. It's lined up better. Okay, let's just put some glue on here and we'll get this added to our card. I'm hoping we can get to another one because I was hoping to actually use some spinners on these. I thought that would be super fun. I don't know if we're going to get it done or not. All right, get this out of the way. I like the color combination. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm glad I switched away from the red. And this is some Michael's red. I know Jay was talking about Michael's on his. And my favorite red is Spellbinder's Poppy. That's my favorite red. I love it. It's a good, bright, bold red, and it's my favorite. But anyway, but I decided to just go with this color scheme. So just cleaning up some glue on there. And I think it's really, really fun. So I would need to, what else do I have here? Let's work with, do we want to do anything else to this? We might bring in a jelly roll pen. What have I got here? I have 3 sizes. I'm going to use the 10. I like the 10. And maybe just add some, maybe some white lines to this. Just kind of add some lines. I think it's super fun. Hey, Denise. Hi, Jana. Jana's lurking and listening and editing videos if she remembers how. And Denise is listening from work. Glad you could join us. Barb Miller says it's not really noticeable. Okay, well, I think I got it fixed. And then we've just added some little white lines to our record. And I think it looks cute. We've got cool Yule vibes. Trim the tree, build a snowman, sleigh all day, and have a cool Yule. Okay, so there's that. Now, we have this one, and it is actually got a score in it. This is the sleeve to your record. So I think I could have done a better job of scoring it. I'm going to use I can find my bone folder. Where is it? I just saw it. What did I do with it? There it is. Okay. And hopefully we'll kind of get this lined up. So see, it doesn't matter what we have in the back. Nobody's going to see that, especially if we attach it to a card. And then, I don't know, I think these probably need to go on the inside. So I'm just going to kind of roll these over and then we'll score it down. Hopefully it's going to score nice. I use some, I can't really see the line. I use some pretty thin cardstock here. We'll just give it a score. Let's get the other side. and give it a score. There we go. And so we're just going to assemble it like that. And this is like our little sleeve to our record. So let's go ahead and get it glued up. And it is a little bit messy just because we chose to stencil it. And we've got that. And that's super cute. Now for this one, I've got, oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put my arm on my record player, but at this point, it's too late. So, but I like it just fine like that. But you could, that is an addition to it. But I like the card just fine like that. So we'll save this for another option, another opportunity. And then I've got this record here that I thought would be fun with this in it. And we can add something fun to it. We've got a Holly Jolly Christmas and we've got a Merry Little Christmas. I think the Merry Little Christmas could be fun. We've got lots of options. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Merry Little Christmas and just stamp it. Now, I could stamp it and die cut it out and add it, but I think we can just lay it on there and stamp it just like we did our other one. And we can add it to our card and just kind of keep it simple. I need to clean off this desk. Look at all the stuff I've got here. I've got 2 pair of scissors, some tweezers, a bone folder, some blending brushes. I need to make some room. It's closing in on me. Okay, let's get all this out of the way. I like to run a little tidier, desk than this. Okay, so I need to bring in my Misty. Those are a bunch of such good Christmas songs. Oh, I know a lot of people aren't ready for Christmas in July, but I do kind of like getting started, on my Christmas cards and getting them ready to go. Now, I think I'm going to I'm going to use my magnet to hold this foam down in here. And then I'm going to use some tape and hold this down and not try to do a corner because I've got a whole rounded edge there. I don't know if this will be an epic fail or if it'll be a great success. So what I'm going to do is just tape it. And then hopefully that'll be enough to hold it down, and then the magnet will hold this in place. I wonder if I should bring in another magnet just in case. I really don't want that foam to slip. So that's kind of my goal. Here I've got my sentiment that I used for the other thing still on here. And then we're going to line this up. And we'll just kind of get it positioned on there. There we go. I think it's going to work. We shall see. Let's see. Is there any new comments? Let's see. By the end of this month, I should have 30 cards made. That is awesome. I make over 100 Christmas cards a year. I make a lot. I usually give out over 100, and then I usually make extras because I'm making cards all the time. And I help my sister and my mom. And then we will also have a Christmas card making party in which they'll come in and to my house. We'll set up my dining room table with all the fun things, and we'll just have a little party and make cards. But I've got several made already. In fact, I might grab them and bring them over and show you if we have time. So this is going to lay right down in the center of that. We're going to have a Merry Little Christmas. I think that's super cute. And we can just tuck it in there, and then they can pull it out. I don't know. We'll figure out what we're going to do with this card. And I just want to get the center lined up because I can, twist it any way that I want to twist it. Boy, that'd be a fun one to just, you've got the pocket that you could put it in. It'd be kind of fun to just put it on this. Maybe we make another one that we tuck. And then let's do that and use this one. So what I need is, I don't know, I'm going a little bit off kilter here. I kind of like that, but I'd like to have, I don't really have a plan, as you could probably tell. I kind of like that. Let me get a card base and we'll eyeball it. I got a lot going on here. How does that fit on there? It just fits on there. And then you'd have it like that. You could, kind of cut it off. I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Would a gift card fit in that sleeve? I mean, you've got room for a huge amount in there. I generally use this little let your faith take flight be for a gift card example, but I mean, this is a huge pocket, so it would be real sloppy in there. But yeah, and you could do it like this and kind of have it poking out, and then we could do it that way. But I was just thinking it might be fun. All right, let's kind of go with the actual planned where we have it on the inside like that, and then we can lay it down on our card. I think what I'm going to do is I use this. How much does this take up? I don't think I can work with that. Let me see. Yeah, I can. Cool. Okay. This is what I die cut to have a Cool Yule out of, and I think I can use it for the backer panel for this. We're just going to go as I originally intended and not get crazy on this. And that way we can get, it is 10 till, and we're going to have 2 cards made, so that'll be awesome. And then I don't know if I'll get to my little bits and pieces. That stamp set is so cute with the little Santa and the Mrs. I think it's cute. All right, so we'll get that laid down on there. And no one will know that I have that on there because this is such a big addition to your card. Cordelia's so sweet. Okay, let me find my mouse over here in this mess. Attach the gift card to a record and tuck it in the sleeve. Oh, that's a good idea. That'd be fun for sure. All right, so I'm just going to get this glued down on here. I'm going to lay that down on there. Oh, and it slides right in. So this is just going to be, we actually need one of those little pull. Do we have that in any of these? I don't think we do. None of these say pull or anything like that. I'm just looking at our little bits and pieces. What if, where are all my little pieces at? What if we die cut them? Let's go ahead and die cut these out and see if perhaps we might want to use them on here or if we go in a different direction. I'm just going to check that out really quick and see what we've got. So we'll clean this off. I have this. I think I had that in mind for that, but then lost my mind. So we actually could bring in another one. Okay. But let's go ahead and die cut these out just for fun and see what we've got going on here. I need to find the dies. I've got so much product here. What am I missing? There we go. So we have okay. So here's our little die for that. And I went ahead and colored those up in advance. I was going to put clear stickles on here and I couldn't find them. The like the clear glitter stickles. I thought that would have been super fun on their fur, but I looked around and couldn't locate it in my craft room. So that was a thought. Okay. I had to clean up my craft room a little bit because it was such a mess. I couldn't even hardly function. I kept knocking everything off on the floor and I was getting really frustrated. So I took a minute and tried to clean things up. I do that every day and then I have to do it again. It's just a constant circle of crafting and cleaning. Is anybody up to anything right now? Buy another bottle of the Stickles and then you'll find the bottle you already have. That's a guaranteed, isn't it? That is guaranteed. That's hilarious. I have some other Stickles, but they were just different colors that I did not want to use. So trying to get this lined up. I'm trying to line this up without sticking my head in the camera. It's sometimes kind of hard. All right, and then what we're going to do, because I want to use the little bitty Scout, is we'll just cut them and then we can run them through there like that. And I am right-handed, so I need to turn that around. Sorry about all the racket. Everything's a clanging and a banging. I'm just going to die cut out some of these little pieces and see if we can't come up with something. So this is cute. This is just a little happy holidays. And I had stamped it and heat embossed it before we went live. And then we've got our little dancing couple there. That's cute. I've got some other things I'm going to die cut out and show you. I don't know if we'll get to all of it, but they're little fun elements. So over here, I've got a whole pile of stamped things that I don't think we're going to get to, but we've got the record player, and that's where I said I didn't stamp all the little bits and pieces that go with it. I needed to do that. I wonder if let's look at that really quick. I think that the way this stamp is set up is that you can lay it on here and stamp it all at once. I think it is. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's get the Musty and give it a try. We've got this on there we need to get rid of. I am going to have a big cleanup after we get done here. So I used that twisted citron and stamped our record player. And then we're going to need to somehow try and line this up as best we can. I'm not sure if that's good. It looks kind of good to me. This is where we need to, yeah. All right. Lay that down. I need, what I got? What I'm thinking is I need a piece of acetate. Give me just a minute here. I've got some underneath my desk. If I can find it. I'm pretty sure I do. Yes. Okay. So what we need to do is just cut a strip of acetate and stamp it and see how it looks. See if we're lined up close. Okay, so let's just lay that down there. And we'll give it a shot and see if we're even close at all before we ruin our little image. That's pretty close. I think it'll work. I think it will work. We're going to go with it. Okay. So we'll give it another stamp, inking. And hopefully we'll get a good, it's going to run right off the edge of that. I got it too close. And I don't know don't know if it'll work with the die since I stamped that on there. Let me see. What does the die look like? Oh yeah, they did plan for that. So good. Cool. I'm glad they did because I didn't think to look. All right, so there's that. I think that's super fun. Then this is a sleeve for the record. This is the record that goes on there, which I should have put on there before I put my needle. Well, you're kind of getting, real time crafting, and it's not perfect, but let's just see what we wind up with there. Probably won't get a card made with this, but I'm just kind of showing you what the elements are so you can check it out if you're interested in it. I did link everything in the description box. There is a lot of product, and there are some bundling. So if you like to save with the bundles, you can check that out. I did put the bundle in there, and you have to look and see what is included in the bundle because there's a lot of different pieces. So anywho, all right, what happened to there we go. Maybe we'll just use the little Santa and the Mrs. Claus on the front of that tucked thing and go with that. But here's what this looks like without the record. Super cute. Yeah, the Scout is very nice. It's a great piece to have for lives. It really is, because you can just have it right there on your desk and you don't have to move the big honking machine around and everything else. I wish I'd have thought of that before I stamped that. Okay, we might have a workaround on that. We just might. It's almost 9 o'clock. And my ice cream is calling. So you might check back tomorrow and see if I move the scheduled live up. I don't know what Daria's schedule is, but it might be necessary to move that up a little bit since I have the registration at the church tomorrow. So I need to get with her. She doesn't join my lives at night because she turns in a little bit earlier than this, and so I'll have to catch her in the morning. I've lost my washi tape. Let's get that laid down. Let's go ahead and get these little pieces cut out and just see what all we've got. That doesn't look like it's lined up very well. I'm getting a little messy. So we have got this and this and this. And I've also got this, which I need a little die for that. Where is it? I don't know. I've got too many little die sets here going on here. There should be a circle die for that somewhere. I'm not finding it. Maybe you just need to stamp that right inside there. We'll do that. Okay, so here's my idea. These things put away. There is a die for that. So yeah. Whoops. I'm gonna see if I can fix my little boo-boo. All right, let's try that again. Hopefully it didn't move on me. I don't know. Oh, it did kind of get a little messy, but we're going to go with that. Now let's bring in the die from this and see if we can lay this down and then bring our record in and lay it on that. I have lost that washi tape. It's somewhere in this mess. This is just some best ever craft tape here, and it'll work as well. Now let's bring in these. See what we can do. I'm getting a little bit carried away here. Is everybody still with me? Still got a good group, I guess. Good deal. All right. Oh, yes. Perfect. This die cuts them out separately, so I think that'll solve my little problem that I created there. And I should be able to put my little record down on here. Oh, yeah, it's going to work. I love it when a solution comes for a problem that I've created. Now, where's the glue? It's over here. And we'll get that laid down on there like that. So fun. And then we can bring this in. Oh, this isn't a problem here. That isn't. It's just the arm that's the problem. And we can bring that in and lay that down on there. And you could even use some foam if you wanted some dimension on that, but whoops, come on. It's wanting to stick to my fingers. Super cute. And then we're going to use the volume button just because part of it is tucked underneath there. And I think this, we should use this because I didn't have it exactly where I needed it. That's going to turn out perfect. Well, not perfect, but better than it was. Look at that. Isn't that cute? So cute. All right. And then this one, I've got some washi tape on there. Need to get that off of there. This one could tuck in here, but I think that'd be cute like that. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to bring in Have a Cool Yule and add it to the front of this. I think it'll be fun. We're going to have this in there, and we're going to have our card base. So let's just do that. I'm going to need to bring in, I'm going to do it just like I did it before. Get that die set if I can find it. Right here. I've got an avalanche about to happen. And for those of you that craft live, you totally understand. Well, anybody that crafts probably understands that. When we get going and we just start piling stuff up. Now for this, I don't think, will this go through? Yeah, it will. I think it will. It might. I think we can get this to go through. I was afraid it would be too wide. It might be kind of pushing it on the edges because it is pretty big. I love this sentiment die here. It's just huge. And it's good that I'm showing you this anyway because it is in pieces. So not the back, the shadow, but the other is. And that way you can kind of see the pieces in it. Try and get all these out. Let's just see if we can drop it out. Whoops. There we go. We'll just throw that down there. And we've got Have a Cool Yule. And then we'll bring this in and we're going to grab some more of that Dahlia cardstock that I've been using. It's going to take me a minute to get all these parts figured out where they all go after I get done here. And I'm just grabbing some of my Spellbinders cardstock, this Dahlia. This is the same thing that I did it in before, and I really like it. So we'll just do that. We might get 3 cards if I push it. I'm just going twice just so since I'm on the edge, and I was on the edge there. Did I make it? I did not. Let's do it again. Technical difficulties. Okay. We need to slow down and take our time. Now we're in good shape with that. I think probably when I laid my plate down, I scooted it over and then it didn't get the edge. This should work. Move this aside. Okay. And then you've got, let's bring this in. Like our H is separate, and then we've got half. Hopefully I can get everything to pop out of here. Come on. Our halves not wanting to come out. And then our Yule, the Y is separate. Just gonna work it out. Did I not do 2 passes with this? Oh my goodness. Let's see if it'll pop out of here. Huh? There we go. It is not wanting to pop out. I don't know what I did wrong. Get our A out of there. Okay. We got our Y. Let's see if we can get our Yule out of here. Oh, technical difficulties. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to lay this bad boy back in there, get it squished in there where it goes, and run it through again so I can get those out of there. I don't know what happened. I don't know if because it's so big. I don't know if I went back and forward. I usually like to go back and forward. I didn't have this problem the first time, but we will overcome. There we go. All right. Now, I think we've got enough of the pieces, parts that we can work with now. So let's just do that. Oh, loving this collection more and more every day. Nice. We had one. I'm trying to catch up on the comments. I'm sorry, I've been just crafting away and not paying any attention to. Let's see. Crafty Hill is a vinyl collector now. Oh, cool. That tiny record player is super cute. Yeah, I thought so too. You had one when you were young. Yeah, I did too. We were at a concert the other night, my sister and our friend, and the song came on, and I said, "Do you remember this?" I said, "We used to play this record in your bedroom on your record player, and we had a dance to it." My sister goes, "Yeah, I do remember it." She goes, "But I don't remember the dance." And we were on the golf cart, and I got actually I was sitting in a chair beside them. They were on the golf cart, and I said, "Oh, I remember it." And I got up and showed her the dance. I said, "I remember that very well." But and she just cracked up. She's like, "You're right. That's exactly what we did." But anyway, my dad actually has. You can buy these. You can still buy record players, and he had picked one up. I feel like we were at Hobby Lobby, and he saw one in there, and he picked one up. And he's got a little record player, much like that one that I just worked with there. And he has some records that he plays on that. So he likes some of the old records, and he likes to play them on there, and that's what he does. So, but yeah, we had one of those little boxes. If you close the lid on it, you had the little hooks on it, and you carried it by the handle, and we definitely had one of those. Super fun. Brings back memories, doesn't it? Yeah. My hands are a little messy. I'm getting a little sloppy here. I've got all that ink on there. Anyway, I just wanted to show you some parts of this collection because I think it's a super fun collection. And especially if you're old school, like I guess I am, it's really brings back some memories. I say now the kids now don't have music like we had. I don't they just don't there just isn't music like what we had. Now my kids kind of grew up on the music that we listened to, and so they're very familiar with it, um but when you listen now, the music's just different, I think. And I realize now I'm turning into my parents because I'm acting like an old person. Anyway, so see, you have some different pieces with this. I guess that's what I wanted to show. And we'll use this U, and then I'll pop the rest of it out of the other one. This is running longer than I anticipated, so hopefully you'll hang with me for a few more minutes and we'll get this one put together. Okay, here we go. That's gonna work. Now this time I want to make sure I get that scrolly laid down on there wrong so that I don't have to do a repair with it. Try and clean some of this mess up here. Okay. The tweezers come in handy for these kind of fussy stuff. There we go. All right, now I'm going to get the Yule laid down on there and then pay attention to this. There we go. That's better. Isn't that great? I mean, that's a perfect sentiment for this area because it's such a large area. So we'll get it laid down on there. Okay. I like it. I do. Okay, so what have we got? Let's see. We have one more card base. We're going to make some quick work out of this. Now, we didn't use that, unfortunately, but it is what it is. We are running out of time. So I have these little fun elements here that I thought would be cute if we could add to it. I have got a lot of this particular panel. So we'll bring it in, and I know Jay's probably shocked that I'm not embossing any panels tonight. I usually emboss everything, but tonight we're not embossing anything because we had the stencils. So we're going to get this laid down on here. And then we have our little couple. We've got Happy Holidays, and they are dancing to some music. I feel like we need something else. I know what we need. We need to bring in a strip of this and figure out where we want to put it. Do it like that. I didn't get to use the spinner tonight. I really wanted to. I thought it would be super fun. We could put that one on there and make it a spinner. All right, here we go. We're just going to get this laid down on here, and we're going to get 3 cards finished. Probably not, maybe a little bit rushed on this one, but we're going to go for it. Is that straight? We'll straighten it up a little bit. There we go. Let's just trim this off. I have lost my chat. There we go. I hope you get your ice cream. I know. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I'm going to try. I'm going to finish up here real quick. First of all, before I get going, I'm going to bring in the jelly roll. And I'm going to put a stitching beside this. I think it'll add to it. And just make it a little bit more fun. And then we'll do it here too. And I'm adding it much like I sew. My stitches aren't straight and they're not perfect. I like to piddle around with a sewing machine, but I'm not perfect at it by any means. So there's that. I think that's a nice little touch. We've got this and we have this. Let's go ahead and get it laid down on here. And we'll have our happy holidays. I think it's cute. I like the little couple. I think they're fun. I'm just going to keep them flat. This is a Christmas card, and you know, a lot of them will get mailed. A lot of them will go to church, but some of them will get mailed. So it's nice to kind of keep them fairly flat for that purpose. Jay, I know you love your embossed panels. They do add so much, and they really are a relatively inexpensive way to add a lot to your card base. So we're going to use that panel that we stenciled, just because I'm not going to let it go to waste. We're going to get our record player down here. It's playing the music that they're dancing to, and then they've got some other records over here that they might play later, and we're going to get them laid down on here. We'll add this like that. And then we're going to try one of these. I've got these packages, and I've got two packages of large, and I've got a package of the mixed. And so I think I just need a small one for this. And I have not tried this, so I have no idea what I'm doing. You guys are going to get to watch me try to figure this out. And I think we just need, oh, what have we got? Give me just a minute here. I don't think that my glue, I don't have time to adhere the glue, so let's go ahead and get this. We'll use some tape. And put it right here in the center of this. Get my bone folder and press it down. And we'll get our tweezers, pull it off. We'll get our little spinner laid down on there. I hope this works. It's first time for everything. And then we'll get another little piece of tape. Lay this on here. Give it a little press with my bone folder. Sorry about the noise, I'm slamming stuff down. And then we'll just kind of line this up on there. And we've got a little spinner on there. Isn't that super cute? Very, very fun. So fun. Okay, so we've got 3 cards made, and I think I gave you kind of a pretty good representation of some of the product. So let's just look at it. We've got our large record, and this is the one that has the drop the needle, which I didn't wind up putting on there, but I think it makes a great card even without that. Cool Yule vibes, and we've got our sides A and side B with our Yule. And then this one, we've got our record that says A Merry Little Christmas, and I think it's super fun. We've got our stenciled panel on it. Actually, we've got the stenciled panel on all 3 of them. And then this one with our little spinner, our record player, our little Santa and Mrs. Claus, and our Happy Holidays. And I think they're super fun. So it's a great set. All of the materials are in the description box below. So if you're interested, I would appreciate you shopping with those links, because it does help kind of support the work that I do. Through, the commissions. I get a small commission at no additional expense to you, and that does help me, so I appreciate that. But Denise says she loves that stenciled panel, and Cordelia says she loves it, and Jay says, I know. Okay, so we're back to the embossing folder comments. So that's basically it. I'm going to wrap up and see if my husband is willing to zoom over real quick to the ice cream place and get some ice cream. Anyway, so thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you around. Take care. Bye bye now.